Well, St. Patrick's Day just one day away, and you better believe Ireland is getting ready to celebrate its patron saint. Our travel guy, Gabe Saglie, is back for his 13th St. Patty's Day in Ireland this year. I'm so jealous. 13 years in a row.
And it's always something new and fresh, but that pervasive buzz always in the air out here, Taylor.
I love that. Okay, so you've been traveling around the last few days looking for something new. What did you discover this week?
All right, so I always use St. Patrick's Day as the hook to get us out here, and then we just sort of travel around the country discovering maybe a new spot. And I went all the way to the West Coast this time around and hit up a beautiful little town called Sligo. And a lot of folks watching who have been to the West Coast of Ireland have been there. You know it, you love it. Just an absolutely gorgeous town. This is a little village that was established back in 1243. So a lot of history here. Only 20,000 people live in the town of Sligo. The Caribou River runs through it. Just it's a beautiful, picturesque town along what they call the Wild Atlantic Way, the West Coast of Ireland. But my favorite part of this visit, Taylor, has been the landscape, because this is what makes this area so dramatic. The rain that Ireland is famous for creates these beautiful green hillsides. There's this very dramatic coastline out there as well. And that landscape is just simply breathtaking, striking. It's something that you've got to see to believe. So as good as this video is, the fact of the matter is you've got to be there to believe it. This is an area that W.B. Yeats made famous. This was the first Nobel winning Irishman, won the Nobel Prize for Literature back in 1923. He called Sligo the land of heart's desire. And a lot of people who are literary buffs will travel here to see just what it was that inspired W.B. Yeats. But just a beautiful spot there on the West Coast of Ireland.
And the video you sent us of that is gorgeous, especially with all the rain. I think us Seattleites could really get along there. Okay, so you went foraging for seaweed. When I think of Ireland, I don't normally think of seaweed. Tell us about that.
Well, listen, the coastline here along the Sligo County Sligo is about 120 miles, and there are hundreds of different species of seaweed, and it's actually given rise to a variety of different industries. Beauty, for example, a lot of these face masks, hair masks made from seaweed. The wellness industry, got these spas there where you can actually do these seaweed baths. Your skin glows after you're out of those. But what I did is I met Lucianne from a little company called Nourish in Nature. She takes people out to the coastline. You harvest all different kinds of seaweed, and then you go back to her little cottage where we made lunch. Some of that seaweed she threw in an air fryer and crisped it up. We blanched some of it. We folded some into some Irish butter and some Irish goat cheese, spread it on some of that home-baked Irish soda bread. So it's a wonderful way to sort of pinpoint the fact that this is a superfood. A lot of vitamins, a lot of nutrients and proteins in seaweed, and this is really giving rise to this wonderful little industry that gets you out into nature. That sort of really recalibrates the way we might eat, perhaps, when we head back on.
That looks like so much fun. I love that experience. Okay, how's the pub scene there?
Well, as you can imagine, the pub scene, and these are social epicenters. You know, families go there, friends go there, ages 18 to 89 plus really kind of meet at these beautiful pubs. Some great spots there. I went to a place called the Swag Man that is run by an expat from Australia who taught me how to pour the perfect pint of Guinness. Patience is key, it turns out. You don't want to rush these beautiful pints because you've got to make sure that they settle in the body. You get that beautiful white head. 119.5 seconds you've got to give yourself to that to create that perfect pint of Guinness. And then, of course, the music. I mean, these traditional music sets, pervasive there. Thomas Connolly, the oldest pub there in Sligo, was a wonderful place to hang out and enjoy some of that great traditional live music. But yeah, these are social meeting spots, great place to meet people and to appreciate some of the great food, some of the great drink, and some of the great music that make Ireland famous, of course.
Okay, so in our last 20 seconds, day before St. Patrick's Day, where are you today and what are you doing?
All right, so I'm back in Dublin. It's about a 3-hour drive back to Dublin here on the East Coast. Tomorrow, the big parade, the second largest St. Patty's Day parade in the world. The biggest one is the one over there in New York City. But this is fantastic. It'll be my 13th St. Patty's Day parade. A lot of U.S. marching bands here, so you'll see an amazing influx of Americans over the last couple of days. The theme for this year's parade is adventures, celebrating that adventurous spirit in all of us. And I got to tell you, Taylor, tomorrow at 6 a.m. right here on Fox 13, I'm going to be live on the parade route to show you all the pomp and circumstance that make this a fantastic parade not to miss.
I can't wait to see that. Gabe Saglie live for us in Dublin this morning. Thanks so much.
Great to see you, Taylor. We'll see you here next year then.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and a new survey shining a light on just how many Americans plan to celebrate St. Paddy's Day this weekend. The Harris poll found 76% of us are going to celebrate in some way. A little less than half say they plan to wear green. I would like to see that at 100%. 28% say they're going to visit a bar or a restaurant. 26% say they are going to savor their favorite food like corned beef. And then 23% say they will be enjoying a festive drink in honor of St. Patrick himself.